Hey, hello, dear dreamers. Welcome to another episode of For F's Sake, where we explore all things freedom. And today I'm very, very excited because we've got an incredible presence and practitioner in the field of energy, particularly from the realms of Egypt and those incredible goddesses and healing powers that have existed for eons. I have heard about this practitioner and her work from so many trusted colleagues, and it's always been a dream of mine to spend some time in the same space with her. So, this is a dream come true for me. So, please allow me to introduce our guest, Fotoula Adrimi. And Fotoula is director of the ISIS School of Holistic Health, which is an international school of healing arts, shamanism, spiritual development, and inner transformation through the mystery school of ancient Egypt. She's part of a global network of shamanic teachers under Sandra Ingerman and also the Shaman's Directory. And since 2014, Batula has been serving as a membership secretary and trustee of the Theosophical Society, the Glasgow Lodge. She lives and works in Glasgow and is taught in Germany and the Netherlands. And she has led spiritual pilgrimages to Egypt, France, and standing stones in the UK. So already, just as I name these words, I really feel I'm invoking the power within them and how much presence you have in this field, Fatila. But welcome this morning. It's so lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much, dear Caroline. I'm so honored to be here, and thank you for all the work that you do and this wonderful show. It's really a privilege to share my work with you and everyone listening. Thank you so much for everybody who's listening.
Well, it really is. The honor is mine. So I haven't even mentioned your books and your these amazing publications that are taking the world by storm. So we'll definitely make time for that. But perhaps imagining me as an utter novice, perhaps you could explain to me about the work at the ISIS School of Holistic Health and what it is about ancient Egypt that calls to you that you bring forth into the work.
Yes, of course. So, without going on, there's so much I could share about the school because I'm so multifaceted. And in when I became 30, that was 2004, I had this massive spiritual awakening and remembered what I used to do as a child. I was so clairvoyant, so connected at that time. And then what happened in 2006, 2 years later, my helping spirit, my Isis, that's the goddess Isis from Egypt, which we do not really refer to her as a goddess, but as an enlightened being, because the word goddess is so tainted by our Western understanding. These beings of light are helping us unconditionally. They are teachers to help us wake up out of this conditioned world and she helped me remember what I knew in ancient Egypt, but she also helped me find the trainings that I needed, all that I needed to be able to really do the work, to go and find the shamans, to go and train with these wonderful people who are in different parts of the world, and ignite another fire within me, that sometimes we feel this big fire to follow a spiritual path. And I had some wonderful teachers, indigenous and Western teachers, that helped me hone deeper my calling, into my calling. So in the IC school, I bring all of that together. I teach the shamanic work. My colleague Fish Sutherland, who is been meditating daily for since 1995, she is doing deep meditation and deep personal work. There is so much wisdom in her. And then I, of course, ancient Egypt. But ancient Egypt took me into the past life work. And then I trained in as a hypnotherapist, a clinical hypnotherapist, to bring that past life work forward, but through my understanding of karma, through my understanding of of what is the teaching between the different lifetimes that we go through, and what is this lifetime we're living now, that is a very, very important time on the planet, where we have the opportunity to really heal all that went we did in the past. We experienced the trauma of the ancestors, the trauma we carry, and bring the gift of the spirit in this lifetime, so we can create a different reality upon the earth. So my school, through oracle mediumship, through past life work, through the Isis mysteries, the ancient Egyptian mystery school, through shamanism, and through all the other things that we do, meditation, circles, energy transmissions, we do so much. What it is, the main purpose of that is for us to awaken into the spirit, the love, the incredible power, because power and love come together. They're both pillars for the ascension process, and to really become the luminous living light while we are in the body. That is what I am walking, the path I'm walking, and the path I am sharing. So yeah, this is the Isis school.
Well, it sounds like you've been in that school since you were born. You know, having the presence of the enlightened being of Isis or guide you along the way, nurture and show you all the different ways that you can bring forth and help people to embody the love and the power that will help them on their path of ascension. I'm curious what it was like for you as a little one to be so clairvoyant. And I'm curious if there were people around you who were similar or whether it was just you and your family who was so tuned in.
So yes, while I was a child, I was born in Greece, and I had this huge love for Egypt. I just
Mm,
couldn't find enough on Egypt, and growing up in Greece, esoteric Egypt did not figure anywhere.
no.
So you couldn't really get books, but I could get the books from the ancients. I could read the Herodotus books on how he traveled thousands of years ago to Egypt, what was his experience. I used to really read and learn all about what the ancients said about Egypt, Plato, and I had this huge love for Egypt and clairvoyance. I could see Isis, I could see my guides, I could see all these amazing beings, and I knew when I was a child not to speak about it. I just knew. They told me don't say anything, because the one time that I said something, and that was like when I became a teenager and I started losing my connection. When I became a teenager, it was about 11, 12, and I started to really doubt myself. And there was so much pressure to do well in exams
Hmm.
and go to university. And my family had already planned my life. They had said, you're going to go to university and work in the family business, marry a good Greek man, and all
Hmm.
of that. All of that was just like a big overwhelm, and I started to doubt myself and the dream that I had, and then I said something, and immediately it was like, this is devil's work. You should, the devil will come if you do any of that stuff. And it was Mother Mary who was the most prominent guide for me at the time. And I said, but it's Mother Mary who is here for me. And they said, no, who do you think you are, a little girl, to speak to, Mother Mary? Only the priest can do that. So I then, the fear that I never had as a child came through. And then I lived then after that a normal life, went to university. Life took me to Scotland, despite all the family's expectations. But we love each other, so we made peace with my choices. And then what happened was, when I became 30 and everything came flooded back, it was absolutely amazing. One thing that happened to me as a child that I have not really recovered yet was, as a child, there was a huge power of manifestation, because because I could manifest. I could just ask Mother Mary, I could just pray to my guides, and things would happen. And that was something that I just accepted. I accepted that, of course, if you ask from your heart, and a child is in their heart, there was no malice. And there was this incredible compassion that I had as well, for other people. I knew what was happening in their life, even though nobody told me, and I could understand why people were or doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Just so empathic. So it was the helping spirits that helped me really keep me safe during those years, and then live the normal life. And at the time of 30, it was just like, now your life is going to change. Now, this is the reason you are here on this earth. This is what makes your heart sing. It's not, being a town planner. It's not being an academic. What makes your life, your heart sing, is doing the spiritual mystical work, awakening yourself and helping others on the path. So that's what happened.
Wow, what a process of initiation. And you looking at my own life, I certainly went through a long period of time of being very lost and disconnected from my own unique ways of tuning into the other world. And I imagine that might be true for many people who find their way to the ISIS school of holistic health, that maybe their path hasn't been so straightforward and linear, and maybe they haven't fully followed or believed their path or felt it's okay that they do something that makes their heart sing. So I'm curious if you have any words or guidance for those that are maybe know that there's something more, or maybe they've lost touch with their clairvoyance or whichever ways that they tune into the world, and who are considering doing something a bit different from what is expected from them, from their family, and from society.
Yes, what happened to me was that looking back to the years that I lived without accessing these psychic gifts, that connection with the divine. And when I look back, I think these were some of the darkest years in my life, because there was a big absence of joy. When we live a life disconnected from our spirit, the inner fire that we have, and from all this wonderful love of these divine enlightened spirits who wish us to help us see the world with different eyes, we are just getting sucked into the drama. We are really unhappy. We're blaming others. We're blaming ourselves. We feel guilty. We punish ourselves. We then, go into these very unhealthy patterns that we have to feel with addictions, because it's so hard to make sense of the world, and there is a big thirst but the water is the spiritual energy. It's not the addictions. So I have seen people being in so much fear, or addictive behaviors, and their spirit is saying to them, there is another way for you. But also for me, when I followed my path, I remember the gifts I had as a child, but it took time and dedication to actually develop them. So again, so even though I was so open and clairvoyant as a child, I tried to connect with spirits, but it was like, I can't see as I used to see. Where are my guides? Because my vibration at the time was not the one that I had as a child. So I had to train. I had to go and meet with these ancient shamans, or all some very old people there who had known all about the path and listened to me. And they said, like, this is how you do it. You have to train. You put your effort in. You have to build a relationship. So when we go into the spiritual work, for those of you who really wish to connect with spirit, it does take time, it does take effort, and not to give up if it doesn't happen in one session. So it's like building a relationship again, and that is wonderful, because when we bring the spirits, the enlightened spirits into our lives, then we can see much more clearly what is happening around us. Where do we put our energy? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm really hearing that it takes intention and dedication to cultivate that relationship with our guides, with our psychic gifts. That I suppose, perhaps to entrain ourselves back into that vibration or frequency where clarity comes easily. Is that what you're saying? That there's something about this is a dedicated path and it does require work.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I remember somebody once. She was a person who was completely left brain, and there was something in her saying, "I want to find out about meditation." She was hearing the word meditation all the time. What is meditation? And then she said to me, "What do you get out of it?" I said, I can't just tell you, what you will get out of it. So I can really show you, and you can maybe experience it because it's an experiential path. And when she did that, she said, "Oh yeah, I felt very, very calm. But next week that calmness went." I said, "That's why you have to keep diving into the pool of light, because the world is conditioned. The world is filled with all the drama in your life, our lives. They're so busy. There's such a fast pace. They're filled with desire and unhealthy relationships. We give our power away. We take power from others. And unless we have awareness, unless we keep diving into that pool of connection, then it's not just one time I spoke to a spirit and then I left. That's fine. You had an experience. But in order to change our cellular memory, to really change our body,
Mhm.
we need to do the work. So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that absolutely resonates, particularly with my inner dance work. That sense of it's not an event. It's not a. It can be for many people a one-off experience, but it is a process that deepens with time and commitment, and it is work. Um, that requires us to show up more and more with ourselves, with presence. And I find that the work that I'm doing in prisons, a lot of the guys are traveling to ancient Egypt in their dream states, interestingly. Um, but they're beginning to recognize that they're in a process of remembrance. And it's one which is about reclaiming those pillars that you spoke about of love and power in ways that light lighten them up on the inside, that power is something which is transformational and it's not power over. So I guess I'm hearing you help people to remember who they really were born to be, and that through this path, everything can change for them from the inside out at that deep cellular restructuring and reorganizing level.
Yes, that's right, dear Caroline. So, what I find is so beautiful is when somebody goes and opens their lotus flower inside their heart, when they are opening up that beautiful, beautiful essence, and the tears of grace flow into their eyes, there's something that happens in the body. There's that deep awakening within the body. And then, as you said, dreams from past lives, maybe ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt was there for thousands of years. We say that ancient Egypt
Mhm.
started 5000 BC, but actually, in the alternative sources, when people are starting to look into the pyramids, they are basically saying engineers that they might have been well before that, in a previous era to our own. But even if we say it was 5000 BC until the Roman conquest, that is still over 5000 plus years of a place, of a mystery school being on earth all this time. So the chances are maybe we do have a past life in ancient Egypt. which was a wonderful place. Um, and in the mystery schools, there was no requirement for you to become an initiate other than having an open heart, having a heart that's not weighted down by the ego. That is the door, that is the
Mm.
key.
Yeah, for your heart to become as light as a feather.
That's right, that's right.
So I'm curious about ritual and ceremony. And in my limited knowledge, I know that ritual and ceremony was very important in those ancient cultures. And I know in my own life, it's very important as well. But I'm wondering what ritual and ceremony means for you and how you weave that into your work. And if there's any suggestions for people about maybe small rituals or ceremonies that they could undertake in their own lives at home as a supportive practice on their path of enlightenment.
Absolutely. So, a small ritual for people to do is an act of gratitude. So I had my shamanic circle last night, and shamanism it's always a ceremony, and a ceremony starts by welcoming the divine in whatever way that you wish to welcome that power, whether it's your helping compassionate spirits, your power animals, your guides, or the divine creator, the ancestors, all of that. In shamanism we have a list of spirits who we invite, and then but you can just invite the creator, or the earth's consciousness, the enlightened earth. uh, you invite that higher power, and you invite your own higher power, your own infinite spirit. So that the ritual starts with connecting to the source of light, whether it's your own or the divine in all. And then what happens is you do the main act of the ritual. So yesterday we were doing a ceremony about the sea, the spirit of the sea, and the healing of the waters. And one person, who we all connected that she gave us this little ritual. She said that the spirit said, just when you look at this glass of water you're drinking, saying, I welcome the living water in my body. I see that water as living, as alive. And it was like this aha moment, just simple, very simple. But what I'm taking into my body, I drink life. What does
Mhm.
that do to our cells? What does that do to our body? Drinking life. And there are sometimes people who come to the circle who have physical ailments. So this little ritual to drinking in life, to drinking in energy is so beautiful. We can all do it. And at the end, giving thanks. Give thanks for the water of the earth. Give thanks for the earth. Give thanks for the earth that I am, for my body. Give thanks to the spirits, my spirit, for this journey that is not easy. It's not easy to be a human beings during our times. So these little rituals take us back into our heart, into our this deep connection, and bypass the conditioned mind. So the rituals that I do, um, they're different, of course. In the ancient Egyptian part, what they used to do is they used to have this theodrama, meaning the divine play. And the priests and the priestesses and the initiates would embody these gods, what we call the gods and goddesses. They call them the Neteru. So they would embody the Neteru. So somebody would be Isis, somebody would be Osiris, and they would play out this drama, which is the basis of our of the world, and bring a resolution to it. So the main drama is that the goodness, Osiris, representing the goodness of the world, was killed by his brother. Now they say this is the primordial karma, that we have so much killing, that human life has become so cheap, that brother is killing brother. Wars never end, one war after another. So if we look around the planet, we can see this deep killing of each other. And And what they do is they heal Osiris, they bring the resolution. The person that has been cut in so many pieces. Now, we all live the human life, we've all been cut in so many pieces, is brought together and healed. And the new era is opened up again, where the spirit, Horus, who is the son of Osiris and Isis, but represents the spiritual era, is now ruling the world. Our spirit is ruling the world and not the corrupted state, which is called Set. So they kept doing this ceremony every year, again and again, resurrecting Osiris, the one that was killed, resurrecting, bringing the spiritual era with that intention that may this spiritual era that is the peace, that is prosperity, that is goodness, that comes from within, from our spirit, now be in charge of us. So our spirit is in charge, not the conditioned mind. We are in our sovereignty, and also that reigns on the earth. The spiritual reality, the goodness of our spirit reigns on the earth, not this corruption and manipulation. So with going through these theodramas, these people who are embodying these enlightened ones start to feel as if they are them, because they are merging with these energies. So it's a really wonderful way when we say, okay, I feel like the wisdom, Thoth is the nether of wisdom, the god of wisdom, and I am somebody like that. I can invite that presence to merge with me for a few minutes, and then things happen. I get these ideas out of nowhere. I feel inspired by by this energy that I am too, because also these beings that we call the Neteru, they are also archetypes. They represent the perfect form of these enlightened ideas. So you have wisdom, you have the spiritual path, you have the goodness, you have everything there, um, and and they are beings of light on their own right, but they're also archetypes inviting us to embody these spiritual energies. So it's all about embodiment. In ancient Egypt was not just about going out there in the different dimensions, but valuable as this is, they were also bringing them into their body to transform from the body. So their ideal was that the body becomes what they call the sahu, the spiritual, unperishable uh, body that not even in death, that can be destroyed. It's like becoming the ascended master, we could say in our own language. So we are all on the road. They believed we're all on the road. Uh, the times that we got lost in the conditioning are also part of our learning. That Earth is this big school. That's why it's the mystery school. And through ritual and ceremony, we can go deep very quickly. Instead of studying the academic text, that's great, but it's the personal experience and working spiritually with the light, not just mentally, not just emotionally. All of that is valuable, but spiritually too, the transformation can be more quicker than us and more solid. So we can really feel that energy and bring it into our lives. So ritual and ceremony for me bypasses the mind, and and brings results quicker.
Yes, there's something so immediate about working in this way. And for me, ritual is there's something deep inside of me that remembers ritual and is immediately drawn towards it. As you say, it bypasses the mind, it bypasses ego, and it nourishes a part of us that transcends time and space. And it's deeply connected to the collective unconscious and those archetypal fields of energy. And even as you were describing, working, speaking to the water of life, And honoring and acknowledging that water before imbibing it, it wakens the water up. And they know scientifically that it changes the cellular structure of the water itself. So there's a practice of alchemy there already before you've even drunk the water, by speaking to it, by vitalizing its vital properties. It changes both the water itself and that the cellular structures within us that are going to absorb it. And I guess I hear that's what you're describing when people step into an intentional space, that the mystery school, and welcome in and embody those enlightened being energies of Thoth or Isis or those other great gods or goddesses as they are called in the Nefertu. It's really profound work that you're holding space for.
Yeah, it's in all of this work, it has been so guided.
Mm,
The spiritual path of Isis that I live every day of my life is something that has nurtured me so much.
mm,
So I really live this wisdom, and it changed my life. When the first time I went to Egypt, there were so many synchronicities. The things that happened really defy, you could say, how could that all this happened? But it did. And um, and I think the path meets us, and what we need is a pure intention. Is when the ego comes that traps us, that takes us away from our heart, is when we lose everything. But the path finds us again, inviting us again, go through that door. It is a door to the unknown. This is the road less traveled. Release all expectations. People sometimes say, yes, I want to do this, but I want to do this because I want to help others. That's great. I want to be a healer. And then with our mind, we construct already what the outcome is. And that
mm.
kind of restricts us so much and restricts the flow of the energy. So I had to go through the initiation in life with many deaths, many mini deaths, leave so many things behind. But I have never been more connected, and I have never been happier. And I think that is worth something. Sometimes my Greek relatives say, what do you have to show for yourself? Because they are very much thinking of materialistic
Mhm,
outcomes, like a lot of people do of that generation in Greece. They say, how many houses you should have now. By now you should have all this. And I say, but look at who I am. Look at who I am and how I live my life, and look at all these people that are also living their life. And that's what changes the world, is the grassroots. It is, I
mhm.
really believe that it's from within us. If we want to change the world, we start with ourselves. Forget what happens out there. Just go in and do the inner work. And that vibration that you bring to yourself, to your life, and to the planet too, is so important, because it's who you are and why you were called here to the earth. I feel like the earth at some point said, please welcome, please come, spirits, all these spirits that we wear, come and have a physical experience. And as good guests, we need to bring something to this beautiful world.
Mhm.
And what the earth, I feel, is saying to us, I just want you to be yourselves, truly you, without all these other things. Just bring to me the luminosity of your spirit. That is a great gift to bring.
It certainly is. And I can feel my own body lighting up on the inside, and I can hear the light in you and the love that you embody and embrace. And I'm so grateful for that. And I have no doubt that those that are listening just now and those in the future will also feel into that from you, Fotoula. You are an incredible guest on this planet, sharing your gifts of light. And I thank you for that. I wonder, just moving on from talking about ritual and ceremony, that perhaps this might be a good time to actually in, embody it and to have a lived experience of a ritual or some sort of practice that you could share with us so that we can feel for ourselves who we might be really, below all of the illusions, and to get an experience of working with you from afar.
Yes, thank you so much. So for this experience, I would like to invite us to go back to the golden times of ancient Egypt, a time where we were so connected. The enlightened ones were not in some far place up in the sky, but they were right there in front of us. And that is something else that happens with this spiritual work, is that we discover that all these, the creator, the beings of light, whoever we're working with, they're not in some faraway place, but they are standing right next to us, supporting us. So we are going to go to this golden time, the time when we were connected, and we're going to go there and find ourselves. And so I invite now all the beings of light who work with me, and all the beings of light who work with you, who work totally and wholly for the light, to come around us and support us and open the ways. May we now imagine that we are going through this beautiful pyramid of light that is made maybe of stone, but is radiating an incredible light. It is covered with white stone that glistens under the sun, and on top there is a golden cup that takes the rays of the sun and disperses them and radiates them on the earth. This is a portal of light, a portal for us to remember. And I ask the guardians of this sacred space permission for us to go there for the highest good, and they open the ways. So we all go into that beautiful, beautiful space. And as we go in, that energy changes. It becomes more grounded. We can feel maybe the energy, the difference as we are inside this space. Now, when we are inside the portal, it's a different vibration to what we're used to. So I just invite you to surrender and be, just be. In this space, inside this pyramid, there are different chambers, but we are going to go to the one that is the lowest one inside the earth, because this is a place where we can get realigned with the earth and our purpose. So now follow me as we imagine that we can see this little doorway, this little tunnel, and we start to go down and down. Going down there, we can see there is the light, there is so much light around us, even though we go into the earth, and we go deeper and deeper into that place until we come into a beautiful big space that is called the well. Inside this space, there is an ancient priestess. She's so old, her face is wrinkled, but her eyes shine with wisdom. And she comes to us and she says to us, I offer you Ankh, eternal life. You are eternal. Now call your eternal spirit to you. You are in the sacred space, and say to yourself, I am the traveler. I've been traveling this world, these existences, these lives after lives, for so long. And now I have arrived at this moment. And I call my spirit. I call the infinite part of me, what the ancient Egyptians called the Ba, the infinite spirit, to now come into my body, for I am the infinite. And as you call your spirit, just focusing on that energy flowing into your body, that's all you have to do. And you can say to your mind, I hear you, you're important to me too. but my spirit is here to embrace you, not to reject you, but to embrace you, to help you, to live life with awareness. And may all that you are welcome, welcome your infinite spirit. And in this beautiful space, if you wish, you can ask this old priestess that offered you the Ankh eternal life, and say to her that you wish maybe to have more awareness in your life. We all have this center called the third eye that enables us not to just have psychic awareness, but spiritual awareness. This is different. This is not just seeing spirits and giving messages, valuable as it is, but it's about inner knowing, remembering the wisdom that we already know. So we can ask this priestess who has her third eye open already to come in front of us and radiate light, enabling us, if we wish, to open our third eye in the degree that is comfortable for our life. And we can ask this old grandmother and say to her, I'm ready now to step into my life fully and to walk my path. Please help me to open my center of awareness. And let us receive this transmission from her, for when we are in the presence of somebody who has already manifested a spiritual gift, that becomes a catalyst for us to manifest ours. And as we receive this beautiful transmission into our third eye, allowing our third eye to open, this grandmother becomes Isis, the Divine Mother. Isis on her head holds what is called the ladder. It's the access to the infinite realms, access also to our spiritual path, realigning us with our purpose of walking the path of our spirit, what our soul was attracted to, the lifetime that our soul wanted when we were up in spirit before we were born. So she takes that beautiful symbol from her head and puts that on our head now, so we can receive this realignment. So the connection from our crown chakra is direct. And then she takes this back again. But the energy stays with us. And the Divine Mother is a source of great love. And she invites us to hold ourselves in unconditional love, because that is the way we can truly heal. She surrounds us with her wings of light and blesses us with infinite blessings, offering us the Ankh in our hand, saying, You too are Ankh. You too are the giver of Ankh. You are a healer. You are a spiritual being. This is your power. Your light is your power. And now it is time to give thanks to Isis, to this beautiful place, to the spirits. And we start to walk back, climbing up, walking up from this place inside the earth called the well. We come up and we are still inside the pyramid and start to walking out of the pyramid now. And as we walk out of the pyramid, we walk out of the golden times, coming back, leaving this space, knowing that we can always come back whenever we wish. We just have to ask for permission from the guardians. And if we ask with an open heart, it is always granted for the highest good. And so, thank you so much for joining me in this beautiful meditation, and just to come back into your body, taking your awareness into your spine, feeling all that energy going into your spine, into your skeleton, and into your hara, your belly, bringing all that light to the core of you, and then letting it flow into your body. And of course, let it go into your heart too. And your heart that pumps the blood also pumps the energy into the whole of your body and aura. May we remember that we are Ankh, eternal life. And may we live our life more and more from that premise. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Caroline. Thank you.
Thank you, Fotoula. Thank you, Isis, and all those beings of light who stepped forward, helping to hold that space. Wow, so I'm really just feeling the presence of the ladder on my head,
Mhm.
my open crown and third eye, and my heart feels it's vibrating at a different frequency. I'm just feeling so peaceful, and yeah, that was so powerful. Fatula, thank you so much for offering this gift to us. Um, yeah, just feeling very moved into a slower pace. My nervous system's really found a different rhythm and feeling more aligned, feeling that light and energy moving up through my spine and around my skeleton and circulatory systems.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Thank you. And thank you so much, everybody. And thank you to your spirit for this journey, that we are all on the journey. And the enlightened ones, of course, we thank you. Thank you for opening
Mm,
the ways. And now that the ceremony is complete, this little ceremony is complete, may the peace stay with us. But we release you. We ask you to completely close and seal each and every part of us, close and seal at a comfortable place, space, and way, um, our body and energy
yeah.
centers as we are coming back to this beautiful world of everyday life. And and we also ask that any spaces, any portals, any energies opened in our space also may be closed and sealed. And we are complete. We are complete. So thank you so much, Caroline.
Oh, beautiful. So it might be that For those that have journeyed with us or are journeying in the future, that you just drink lots of water, maybe speak into the water of life, and eat nourishing food, and notice your energy, your dreams, your insights over the next few days, weeks in particular, as that might have really opened something up, shifted something for you at a very deep level. And I know, Fotoula, that you recently published a second book called The Sacred Mysticism of Egypt, The Ancient Path of Heka Initiation. And could you tell us a little bit about that book? And is that somewhere that we could go to as a resource for more rituals and practices that we could weave into our everyday?
Yeah, absolutely. So this book is, I think, my lifetime work. It's something that was written with my helping spirit Isis, and it does refer to the golden times of Egypt, how Egypt started from Atlantis, and also what happened, and the path of the initiate. So there are so many beautiful practices that we can bring to really empower our path, no matter what our path is. These teachings are not just Egyptian. These teachings, I think, are just, I found them in so many other traditions because are the wisdom teachings that we have as humanity. And in ancient Egypt, they did it in one way, through myths, through
Mhm.
stories, and through rituals that really brought those energies like we did just now, that we felt just now. So these practices really will bring these energies into our life, but also understanding of what is this path that we live in, what are these times that we live in, and where we go from here to become that Sahu, that spirit being in a body.
Wow. So I encourage everyone listening to look for Fotoula's books, and her first book, also The Golden Book of Wisdom, Ancient Spirituality and Shamanism for Modern Times. And for both of those books, you can find those on Amazon or
Yes,
another. Mhm.
yes. So you can find them on Amazon. You can find them on different bookstores. Waterstones also in Glasgow. They have the book. So Opal Moon in Glasgow, which is an independent, uh, wonderful spiritual shop, has the book, and you can also order it online. So it's everywhere that books are sold. You can get
Amazing.
the book. Yeah.
I love that. And for people who are interested to work with you, and they might not be local to Scotland or Glasgow, could you maybe just give a summary of the different ways that people could work with you or get in contact with your work?
Yeah, so for everybody, whether you are in Glasgow or not, we issue a monthly newsletter. It's free. You can just send us your email address, subscribe to the website, and in the newsletter, there's always a channeling from ISIS as the first article, and other articles sometimes on shamanism. We do also energy transmissions of the Isis energy, or I should say it comes from the Sirius star, because Isis is the Sirius star. So we do these beautiful transmissions every Wednesday. Again, they're free. You can just send us an email with your intention, and we create a crystal grid, put your name there, and all the intentions are there, so you can feel the energy. You can also uh, take part in some of our courses. Now, the spiritual path of Isis, part one starts, I think it's in April online, and also in March equinox is 3 days in Glasgow in person, but online in April. There is the shamanic introduction coming up this weekend, in person, again online. So we have lots of online work. We also have pre-recorded. There's a really great course that I taught right after the book was published, which was the introduction to the Mystery School of Ancient Egypt, and 3 webinars. And people have been getting so much from these 3 webinars, and that you can just go and purchase from the website. And also on the website, there are a lot of videos that are available that are free. You can get those as well. You can watch them from the website. So there are all these courses that we do. Go onto the website, some in person, some online. I love the in-person work, but the community has grown so much. So I love that people from different parts of the world are connecting with that energy. And I see that when we connect online, that there is almost like we're like a constellation
Mhm.
of different stars radiating in different parts of the world. So if you wish to join us, I would love to work with you.
Yes, so many different pathways to tune into this energy field. And just to remind us, what is your website address?
So yes, thank you, Caroline. The website is the IC School of Holistic Health.com. I know it's quite long, all one word, the IC School of Holistic Health.com. Thank you.
Amazing. And we'll make sure that that goes up on the Telegram channel as well. But Fatila, what an incredible gift of time it has been with you this morning. Just feeling a kinship for you, not only and far beyond being Greek myself, but yeah, just basking in the golden light that you have brought forth this morning. And thank you so much for being such an incredible guest. We could speak for hours, I'm sure.
Thank you so much, Caroline, and thank you to everybody listening. Just something that I did forget. If by any chance you're in London, you're listening in London, there is I'm there on Thursday at Watkins Bookshop, and there's a presentation there and a beautiful meditation in person, just in
Oh
case you're
wow.
there. So
Amazing. That's something not to be missed. Incredible. So definitely for those of you in London, if you can make it, make sure you do go. That's something not to be missed. But Fatila, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to end the recording. And if you wouldn't mind just staying online just for another couple of minutes, just in case anyone listening, they might have a question or a comment that they'd like to share. Is that okay?
yes, of course, thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, dreams coming true in real time. That's what this hour has been. So, and exploring freedom in the most incredible ways and always through the body, through the mystery skill that we're born into. But thanking Fotoula Adrimi again and thanking you all for joining us, whether in this present moment or in the future, with much love. And I look forward to holding space again with you. Take care.